Hello, good morning, you guys, and welcome to Real Talk with Tamara. As you guys come into the room, please do hit the like button. Also, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe to the channel. I hope that you guys are doing okay on this morning. I know that I am. I always express the importance of hitting the like button because the like button helps to keep the video in the algorithm. So make sure you guys please like, share, subscribe, comments, and all of those really wonderful things. Okay. You guys, I wanted to talk about finesse two times. Says Moneybag put a bag on top of his head, and his bag known for doing things like this. Okay, now we kind of talked a little bit about it last night, um, and I wanted to do a video getting more in depth in some of the things, especially coming from this subject, because it was quite interesting that Finesse two times put that out. Okay. And I ain't trying to bash Bag. I know he got a team of folks. They real bad. Okay. Bag, your people is worse than any of the people on that side. They um likes to threaten folks. So I think you need to tell your team to stand down. It's against the law to be threatening people on the internet. Okay, that's a federal crime. Okay, but each and every time something had been said about Bag, you could tell that they're emotionally unstable. I hope he's not paying them to do things like that. Anyways, but this is not an attack. This is just an analysis of what Finesse two times said and some of the things down through the years, because y'all know we've been talking about this now for several years, and Bag's name has definitely come up quite a bit in the Young Dolphs saga. Yeah, excuse me, my cold is coming back, and it's early in the morning. Okay, it's 6:15 in the morning, so you're always congested around that time. But I want to talk about that. I found that quite interesting. We see that Finesse two times seems to be having. He's upset. He's definitely disgruntled, and he seems to be telling all of those things that's been going on in the background. Okay, some people may agree with it, some don't. I think it's a good thing that he's doing it. Okay, because one thing we do know about these some of these suckers, if you they'll say, well, you should have did behind the scenes. I mean, when you do it behind the scenes and nobody knows about it, you tell them, you express to them the exact same way he's doing it to the public. What they do is when they know that you're disgruntled, they such suckers, they'll put a hit on you. And nobody they'll send somebody to take you out, and nobody ever really knows what happened because they don't want you to bring it to the forefront. Okay, and then they'll show up at your funeral and all of that, stiff faces, look like water running down their eyes, cheeks and shit. You can put something in your eyes now to make you tear up. They've been doing it in Hollywood. Okay, and some of these rappers have Flatfoot Hollywood. Okay, um, and you never bring it to the fore. Nobody ever really knows. There may be whispers from your family, but then they make your family look like a lie. So when they sit up and say why they bring it to the internet, especially when they are, have been known to do slimy stuff like this, such as taking people's lives. I think that's the best thing that you can do, is bring it to the forefront. Okay, bring it to the forefront so all eyes can be on them. Okay, now Finesse two times said that Moneybag Yo, okay, put a hit on him. That was interesting. I think people was surprised, maybe that he said it, surprised that he had that it had happened, but not surprised that he did it. Okay, if I'm saying that right. So surprised that maybe it was Finesse two times, but not necessarily surprised that Bag did it. Okay, and I'm gonna get into why. But let's look at Finesse. Okay, let's look at. I pulled up a couple of his videos. Yeah, I got up a couple of his videos. Let's see.
Good yo. So one day, so now I got the warrant, man. So he telling me, bro, we don't make music based on you being on the run. So I'm like,
okay, so that's not the video right there. Okay, I always pull up the wrong damn video. That ain't it right there. Okay, here it is right here. Y'all make sure y'all hit the like button for me. Hit the like button and support the channel, okay? Here it is.
Then y'all ain't forgetting. Y'all forgetting that shit that No Love said about that shit on Lamar, about that situation. That shit was real. And I let this slide, y'all. The only other nigga I know that let a nigga slide for putting money on his head is Gucci Mane. When he went to the feds for Jay Jeezy for putting money on his head, I forgave you for putting money on my head. I had a whole shootout and still forgave you. I might be funny and all, man, but I'm surgical with that bitch, Jay. I had a whole shootout and forgave you. Gucci Mane is the only nigga I know that forgave a nigga for putting money on his head. Besides me, bro. I forgave you, P. Man, we supposed to be best friends. We supposed to be married, bitch. You supposed to never divorce me, nigga. How in your motherfucking mind is not registering that, man, I did this to that man, he forgave me? Bro, that really changed. Let me give bro a real chance. Niggas don't forgive niggas for shit like that, boy. Niggas don't forgive niggas for shit like that. That lets you know how much I was ready to move forward. But fuck that moving forward shit, bitch, when you see me dead. Alright.
You're selling for babies.
Okay, you guys. Okay. So he basically, like I said, he's basically talking about finesse, put a bag on top of his head and all of that. And he said he really supposed to be married to him. He can't understand why he would cross him. That means finesse never really forgave him. And which I don't know, I wouldn't have. I wouldn't even I don't even know how he could trust anybody that will put a bag on top of his head. Okay. If you want somebody gone, if you would put a bag on somebody's head, that means that you absolutely, if you're willing to take them away from their life and away from their children and their family, you got to hate that person. I mean, that ain't being the bigger man. So people are, I don't really understand a lot of this stuff. When he said, yeah, we could put differences aside to make money. You will put aside the fact that somebody tried to take you from your life on this earth for some money. That's what I don't understand about what is going on today. A lot of these folks is twisted. There is nothing in the world that anybody could ever say to me that tries to do anything to hurt me, especially when you try to do the ultimate, and that is take my life. That is the ultimate. Some of these folks is down. Some of these men, they try to, the guys of keeping it real. Well, we just keeping it real because we men, we try to get money. No, you are Down syndrome. Okay. And that's not a shot at Down syndrome people. I'm just, because a lot of Down syndrome people, people that are born like that, they are highly intelligent. So I don't even want to use that word. As a matter of fact, I strike that. It's some type of mental illness, that's, I guess, undiagnosed. because even people with mental illness know to stay out of the way of people that have tried to take their life. So it's just not logical at all. It's like some type of other language that is just crazy. Okay. And so, um, but it's Moneybag Yo. I've heard this quite a few times. Now we see Moneybag Yo. They say he's scary and all of that. I don't know. That's what they've tried to say. I don't know if he's scary or not. Okay. Yes, Moneybag is talented. I think he should credit Finesse with like his flow, because when Finesse said that, somebody had a video the other day. And I thought I shared it of Moneybag repeating Finesse being in the studio with a flow, and he was just coming off the top of his head. And then Moneybag later on, Moneybag got songs saying the exact same thing with the exact same flow. I did not share that. Okay, I really wish. Oh God, I get so. I wanted, because a lot of times I'll share stuff on my page so that here's something that I did share on my page also. But I'm gonna look for that. Um, because they found video, okay, and there was a young man on Facebook that was sharing it. Hold on.
You can't fight. You fight with your head down. I get out, you fool. I don't give a you fought with it up. You a bitch ass nigga, fool. We can jet or whatever. My little brother been shit out your ass. No little been shit out. You can't fight. You fight with your head down. I get out, you fool. I don't give a you fought with it up. Ass to sleep. You talking about? Nigga, no little big beating your ass. Since the project, I know you can't. Look, bro, you can't. No little scared to fight me. No little just be acting tough to y'all. No little don't want to fight me. No little just be bullshitting. I had to call no little about 15 times. No little don't want no smoke. No little know that penetrate. Listen, I showed y'all the ladder of the week when I beat the shit out of playing with bro tax money. Y'all just ain't never seen me demonstrate. The first time, and I ain't finna demonstrate just to show y'all. You ain't finna send me out. But you gotta know, the first rapping, the first troll, the first try. Now I'm going, listen, I'm gonna tell you. When I bump into you, listen, I'm so up in the head. I'm so jailhouse in my head. This is what I'm gonna tell you. If I see Bag, right? If I ever see Moneybag Yo backstage, you know he big. You don't try to walk fast here and scary here.
Okay, so he really has a lot of anger. It seems like to me he has more anger towards Moneybag Yo for some reason, than more so than the princess. I don't know. I don't know if he feel like it's safer, or to be mad at Moneybag, or Moneybag is really the one that's doing more behind the scenes. Um, but I was listening to South to Cypress last night. Says that they tricked Finesse when he was in jail. Finesse was already signed to Brett Gang, and when he got out, the princess, you know, they tricked him into. He thought he was signing a new contract. Ain't no telling what they told him, and but it was not legally in the paperwork. Okay, because they could tell you anything. If you don't know the language of the paperwork, anything could be in the paperwork. But he was already signed allegedly to Brett Gang, and so what they did was basically updated. Had he thought he was signing again, they was just basically had him to sign an updated copy where they was really tying him in, and that's what he pissed off about. Uh, of new language and all of that, where they basically screwing him over. Right? It was more stringent and all, and I'm sure because he when he got out, he was hot. They really screwed him over. But it's bad, known for doing things like this. Now, let me just say this. This is allegedly. I used to have a young man that used to be in my um chat. Okay. I ain't seen him in a long time. I miss him. He went really hard for young dog. And because he was dropping so much information, you had people that was hacking him, trying to dox him to see who he was. He was from over in Castelia somewhere, but they was really trying to figure out who he was. I had no idea that other bloggers. Yeah, I'm sorry. I got a head cold. Was trying to was discussing. I wish I had known. Okay, I wish I had known because that is against the law. And so he was given so much information. Um, they was trying to expose who he was, having conversations, and I'm hearing they was going into their members trying to expose who he was. Okay. Which is against the law. Because I'd have reported it to the law myself. Okay, because why would you want to know who a person is or try to expose who a person is that don't want you to know who they are if they're coming into somebody else's chat giving information? It ain't even information about you. Unless you want to have something done to them. Okay? Why would you want to know who a person is that don't want you to know who they is? They're not a threat to you unless you're trying to set up an energy to try to have something done to that person. That's why it is against the law. Okay? But anyways, he said, I remember he came into my chat and it's allegedly he spoke about because he used to even come up on my panel sometimes. And he was from out of Castelia. Okay. And he spoke about, and this is allegedly because I was not there. I don't know that allegedly, Moneybag was close to, he spoke about how Moneybag was close to a paper route artist. And the paper route artist and Moneybag and the paper route artist brother, they all ran together. And it is alleged, okay, that Bag actually put a bag on this young man's head and it was successful. Okay. And I noticed one time when this artist was asked about money back, he did not, you could tell he kind of gave a blank stare. Okay. He did not talk about him, didn't want to have anything to say to him at all. Okay. So I mean, this artist I hear is Young Mob or affiliated with Young Mob. So this is allegedly. I don't know. Bag, tell your people to stand down, okay? Because we know you have a team of people. Unfortunately, I don't know if they couldn't be professional. They likes to come and send and put threats. They so damn dumb in people's comments. Okay, so if they're doing it on your behalf, we gotta believe that you got them doing it. It's coming from you. Okay, because folks ought to be able to control their teams. Okay. And then I'm going to go a little further. And I don't know if that's true. Okay. That's just what the person said. And that was in my chat. And let's go a little further. But here's the thing, the boy was giving so much good information. I mean, people was wanting to know who he was. They knew he was from out of Castelia. Okay. And let's go a little further. We think about even with this young dog situation, his name came up in the very beginning. He was people forget that, when right before this stuff happened, Bag was on the internet talking about he got money to play. He was either into it with either Key Glock or Young Dog. Okay. That was at least that was the rumor. His name was constantly coming up. Let's not forget that the person that has been charged with unaliving Young Dolph was running with Brett Gang and allegedly was getting ready to be Brett Gang CMG. He was all up on stage with Brett Gang artists. He was getting features with Brett Gang artists right before Young Dolph was knocked down. They was already showing him this is what it could be. This is how your life is going to be, it appears to me, if you do this. That's why I always said he never passed the smell test, because it was Brett Gang's artists that he was running with. You know, there had to have been some agreement. You know, like Lil Migo is Heavy Camp CMG. The rumor is he was gonna be Brett Gang CMG. Okay, talking about straight drop. So that's why Bag has never passed the smell test. But who else was behind that too? You know, were there other like CEOs that might have been over Bag other than Gotti? That benefited from Young Dolph being unalived too, like two CEOs, two more CEOs of a record label. That's interesting, ain't it? But hey, I'm just talking about the rumors that we've heard, okay? Everything is allegedly, as Tasha K say, even my name. Okay, but it's in the atmosphere. It's been in the atmosphere. Okay, so this little group of folks, they've always had issues. They have like that control type situation. I think that's why this folks has been at their ass. Okay, because they think that they can control what people say. If you don't say or do what I want you to do, I'm gonna take you out. Look at what they did to Jeremiah Taylor. Look at what they did to even others. Okay. Um, who else? They went and shot up the mural. Um, all types of other stuff. It's probably why the investigation is not closed. And I always told y'all he never passed the smell test. He moved just like Gotti. He moved just like him. He just quieter. And I think the reason a lot of like Brett Gang Brick or whatever his name is, the young man, Brett Gang Brick, when the one he told, bring me my chain, he told him come and get it because he gonna shoot the shit out of him. See, them little boys weren't scared of him. He knew not to play with them. Because they was already mad and ain't had nothing to lose. Is it Brett Gang Brick or Dree or something? And then he said free straight drop. I think they felt a certain way. Look at how he did 30. He did 30 so cold. It was ridiculous. And y'all know I be getting in 30's ass, okay? Because I heard people say, well, you don't really say nothing about 30. 30 is still basically a child to me. The same reasons why I don't send that negative energy towards Lil Migo. And we already know Lil Migo been doing a lot of dirt. And he ain't passed the smell test, but I understand Migo as a child. So whatever he was involved in, we're going to let the police deal with that. Okay? I don't want to send no bad energy towards Migo. He already been having too much damn bad luck. Okay? All right? So because of the energy that he has created. But remember now, and we don't talk about 30. And I don't want to get 30 started because, I don't know, 30 be mad as hell. I don't want to get 30 started on Moneybag. But here's the thing. Okay. When Brett Gang Brick and them, when he told Brett Gang Brick to bring him his chain and Brick said, come and get it or whatever. And all of those young dudes, they talking about free straight drop. He wanted them to steer clear of straight drop. And those boys were mad at him for a reason. I think they was mad at him because they knew that he had his energy. He allegedly had been involved in boosting this dude up to do this. And then once he did it, because Bag didn't want to be like Dolph too, he could never. He could never. Dolph had a swag. A lot of people might say Bag rap the best. That ain't got nothing to do with it. I'm talking about the lifestyle. Young Dolph just wore it like he owned it. Bag don't. Okay, he might be the better rapper to some people, but as far as the lifestyle, he don't own it like Young Dolph did. I'm telling y'all. He could never. Young Dolph seemed like he was born to be a CEO. Okay? He walked like it. He talked like it. Looked like he smelled like it. Okay? Everybody can't do that. He had the energy and the aura, and that's what they could. Okay, he might have been a better rapper. Okay, but I bet you he didn't have more money. He didn't have the aura. He had that king like aura. He stepped his energy and everything around him. He commanded shit. When he went into rooms, he stood up straight. He could say what he wanted to say. He's a free Negro. And it was bad. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. But a lot of them dudes was a lot of those young dudes was mad at Bag. And I think it was strictly because of that. You helped to steer him in this direction. Now y'all just gonna leave him out there like that. They didn't like that. So a lot of people thought that like Brett Game Brick and all of them, they was trying to throw, like they was throwing shots at Young Dolph, and they were saying free straight drive and all that. I don't think it was. I don't think it was shots at necessarily at Young Dolph. I think it was they was letting Bag know we rocking with him. You rogue. After he had told them that he didn't want them dealing with him. Okay. 30. He did 30 dirty. He did 30 real dirty. After 30's cousin was unalive, Newski, he turned around and said, y'all, I didn't tell y'all to get in. That's the worst thing you could tell somebody, especially after they've jumped in front of a bullet for you. And 30 of them should have stayed out of, but they was young. They thought they was being loyal. And I tell you, when people say to you after you put your neck out there for them, I ain't tell you to do that. That's a dirty mofo. That's the worst thing you can say to somebody, especially when there has been bloodshed. And that's exactly what he said. He let them know he didn't give a damn about. He said, I ain't tell y'all to get involved. Y'all jumped on my D. So he was basically talking about Newski too. Really, that's one of the reasons. But I think 30 is finally at peace. So we ain't gonna get 30 started. Okay, we ain't gonna get him started no more. But 30 is probably not gonna say anything. I don't know. If my memory serves me correctly, y'all can help me out. I think there was some issues with 30 and Finesse 2 times at one time. So 30 probably ain't gonna say nothing because he probably has issues with Finesse also. Okay. But yeah, it's there, it's Bag known for doing things like this. I mean, those have been the rumors. So it is allegedly. All right. It is alleged, but I'm just bringing back up some things that has been said in the past that we have talked about to you all's remembrance. And for some of those who may not have been in the chat at that time. Okay. So it's allegedly. Child, I'm gonna put allegedly in the thing. But normally where there's smoke, there's fire. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Okay. My grandma used to say, I used to love it I love it now. I didn't then. My grandma, old country woman from out of the backwoods of Mississippi, child. And when she would catch me, when I would do something and I was trying to explain myself, how we kids would tell lies, she would go, oh, okay. So it walks like a snake and slithers like a snake, but it's a barracuda. She used to always say that. She said, oh, okay. So it walks like a snake and slithers like a snake. And you trying to tell me it's a barracuda. Oh, okay. You think I'm a damn fool. So I'm going to say this in the words of my grandmama, rest in peace to her. I love her so much. If it walks like a snake and slithers like a snake, my question to you all, is it a barracuda? Nah, it's probably a snake, right? Anyways, listen, you all. Hey, I want you guys to please like, share, and subscribe. I got to get ready and go to church. I'll come on. I think I may come on tonight if I have time to come on, because I'll be getting ready for work in the morning. And my Sunday dinner and all of that. Anyways, you guys, I hope that you all have a good Sunday. I want you guys to please like, share, and subscribe. Y'all be safe out there, okay? I love you all. Talk with you later.